Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living. I'm Gary and today we're making a quick bread. This is a Pecan Banana Quickbread. It is dairy-free, oil-free, gluten-free, and vegan. It's going to have almond flour, 3 bananas, flax head, baking powder, salt, vanilla extract, and cinnamon. The nut of choice are going to be pecans. Come and see how I put this together.
Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living, a whole food plant-based lifestyle. Ingredients: 2 cups Blue Diamond gluten-free flour, 3 overripe banana, 2 flax eggs, 1 tablespoon baking powder, half a teaspoon baking soda, half a teaspoon Himalayan sea salts, fine grind, half a teaspoon cinnamon, half a cup pecan nuts. Baking hardware: parchment paper, cake pan or loaf pan, cooking rack, measuring spoons or cups, flour sifter, oven mitts, oven at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. To make the flax egg directions: 2 tablespoons of flax meal plus 3 tablespoons of water. So if you only have 1 flax egg needed in your recipe, this is the directions. But if you need 2, you need to double it. Let the mixture sit for 5 minutes, then use the entire mixture in your recipe.
Okay, the very first thing you need to do, because this is a vegan formula, has no dairy-free, no eggs, and like that, you have to mix your flaxseed egg. Basically, it's 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal to 3 tablespoons of water. So in here are 6 tablespoons of water, and I'm going to put the second flaxseed in here. And what you do then is you just mix them together, like so. It's already starting to thicken up. Now, you're going to be doing this for 5 minutes. So now set it aside. I ordered a shifter for flour and it hasn't come in yet. So I'm going to show you the way I know how. When you use 2 metal screens and you put your flour in the small one and it goes into the big one, and that's how you make darn sure that your flour is aerated and without clumps and lumps. Alright, so that's the next step we're going to do. So what we do for that is we're going to measure 2 cups of almond flour. Okay, so we're just going to roughly do this. Now my flour is lumpy. I've left this open before I decided to put it in a plastic bag. Moisture got in the bag, and a lot of this flour is lumpy. This is the reason why when you're working with flour, that you sift it. So let's get into the process of doing that next. So here I'm using the big sifter in the pan and the small sifter inside of it. This in here like this, and putting it in the small one. And then I'm going to be hitting the sides of the bigger one. This is a very time-consuming way of doing it, but it will get the job done. Okay, so we're going to get that done, and we're going to go to the next step. Before you start doing all this, make sure you preheat your oven to 325 degrees. And you turn it on. I know it's on instantly because it says 100 bake. So that's a good start for me. Next, let me show you what you do with your flour. Immediately after you finish with your flour, put it back in its plastic bag, because you can't trust these seals. And then put it away. So what I did is I added to the 2 cups of sifted flour 1 tablespoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of Himalayan sea salt, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. So that's your dry ingredients. Now we're going to work with the wet ingredients. If you're really quick and you're short on bowls, you could probably mix it right into this right here, which is all your dries. But I've gone in the habit of separating them and then I combine them. So for the wet, we're going to be using 3 ripe bananas. I mean, these are ripe. Practically jump out of their skins. Oven's ready. I'll drop the skin in. Okay, then you're going to add to that 2 flax heads. This is how we made our flax head. Your binding agent. Then you're going to add half a teaspoon of, this is McCormick pure vanilla extract. That's it. Then you're going to take a fork and you're going to mash this down. It doesn't hurt anything at this point. Okay, now your half cup of nuts, I decided to use pecans. You're going to have to chop those up in little pieces. You're going to need a couple extra for the top of the batter when you pour it into the loaf pan. Okay, so we're going to chop this up real quick and we'll get back to you. So this is the wet and we're mixing it in like this. Looks a lot like dough at this point. You can see it right here. Okay, then we're going to mix our nuts in and we're going to fold the nuts in. Now what's the difference? What's the big deal about folding over stirring? Well, everybody's had nut cakes, like fruit cakes. Fruit cakes are stirred hard. That's why they're so dense. If you want your cake or your bread to be dense, stir it heavily. If you want yours to be fluffy, fold in your ingredients. Okay, this is all ready. Now we're going to prepare the pan.